friends, I am back with another quick practice for you that you might use at the end of a work day just to kind of de-stress, de-kink anything that you might be feeling in your body. Just, 15, 20 minutes or so to help you wind down into your evening. You don't necessarily need props, but blocks always come in handy for various and sundry. If you don't have long arms in particular, you might use those. I'm going to start standing in mountain pose-ish near the top of the mat and just sort of get the spine moving a little bit by rounding down toward a forward fold. So I'll let my head kind of come first and then my shoulders. I'm gonna let my knees bend because that feels good for me to do. You can decide what you need to do there. And then slowly reversing that. I'll do a couple. This time as you come up, you might feel like it's a good idea to add a little bit in the opposite direction by lifting your chest and maybe lifting your chin. Hands on hips can help, right? Give you a little bit of a feeling of support for your low back. All right, let's go back down again. And up. Maybe adding that little bit of extension at the top. Let's do one more. Okay, and then at the top from that slight bit of a back bend, I'm gonna move into a side bend. I'm gonna go to the right first. I'm gonna keep the right hand on my right hip, and then I'm gonna make some big sweeping circles with the left arm. In both directions. Next time my hand's moving close to my hip, I'll take it there and come up and switch my side into the left and then make those big sweeping circles with the right arm. Both directions. All right, and then coming back upright, think neutral-ish. Right, I'm gonna lift to my tippy toes and down and maybe lift the toes just a bit, kind of rocking from toes to heels. Doesn't have to be a huge amount, just giving the feet some love, some attention. Might hear some snap, crackle, pop action going on. One more. All right, and then I'll stay on the right foot and just lifting the left foot. Doesn't have to be super high. You can hang on to something, the wall or furniture for balance help. And let's do a little bit of ankle rolling, both directions. Other side. Rolling the ankle, both directions. Okay, now that those feet and ankles are warmed up a little bit more, we're gonna warm up the hips just a little bit more by doing a slow, basically like a march in place, lifting one knee up and down, back and forth. I've got hands on hips just so I can kind of feel that my pelvis isn't moving a whole ton, so we can really focus on the hip flexors. You could do whatever you want with your hands. Again, maybe you're hanging on to something for balance help. All right, we're gonna add, next time I lift the left knee, I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna flex the foot because that feels better for me, but you don't necessarily have to. And then I'm gonna rotate that leg out, external rotation. Just kind of see how that feels. Go back to center and take the foot down, and we'll switch that to the other side. Lift up, pause, rotate out, to center, quote unquote, and down. Let's do that a couple more times with each leg. All right, and then we're gonna add one more thing to that equation, and we'll do it a couple times each side. So after lifting and rotating, we're gonna cross that ankle above the opposite knee and sit this back into a figure four shape, just to the point where we feel a little glute action there in the figure four leg. All right, come back up, detach, back to center and down, switching. Lift up, rotate, cross over, bend that standing leg, sit into it. Lift up, detach, back to center and down. One more each side. Here, I'm going to take it back down to my fold to get into the next position. So here's where, if you had blocks, you could have your hands on them just for help to reach the floor if it feels like it's hard to reach, and sometimes it's a leg and or arm length issue. From here, I'm going to take a step back with the left foot, finding a lunge on the ball of the back foot. From here, we'll work the back leg a bit, knee down and up a few times. So let's keep the knee up this time, and we'll spin that back foot down, warrior two-like position, so the back foot is parallel-ish to the back of the mat. Hands are still down, and then from here, I'm gonna kind of sweep my left arm up and around and let the body kind of come with, so I'm in side angle-ish position, and then lower back down, both hands down, and then switch the direction of the circling to lift up and down. Switch again. Time. And then once the arm comes up, take the hand behind your head and maybe rest this forearm on the opposite leg. From here, we're going to do some rotation from that sort of side-facing position. So elbow comes down toward the opposite leg and back up, down and back up. A couple more times. All right, from here, let's take both hands down, come to the ball of the back foot, take that back knee down again, and we're gonna walk the hips back and come onto the heel. Walk the hands to the outside of the right leg, flex your foot, and then try to press your toes down, back and forth. And you could have hands on blocks here as well, right? If the floor's hard to reach. Okay, and then let's walk that back forward, and we'll step the back foot forward back to our fold. Take a moment to rest there. And then we'll step the right foot back and repeat that on the opposite side. Knee down, knee up, back and forth. Let's keep the knee up. Spin that back heel down. Toes are pretty side facing there. All right, we'll kind of sweep up into side angle territory and then back down, and then switch the direction of the sweep and down. And the opposite hand is lifting for most of us, right? All right, next time we're coming up, let's rest that opposite arm on the leg, hand behind the head, elbow is up. All right, rotate downward and back up, down and up, down and up. One more time. Okay, we'll take both hands down again, ball of the back foot, back knee down, walk the hips back. Let's come up on onto the heel and walk the hands outside. Point and flex. Point and flex. A couple more times. Walk it back forward. And again, we'll lift the back knee and step back forward into our fold, taking another moment to rest. Okay, from here I'm going to step the left foot back, switching sides again, but something different, not as long of a step. So trying to stay about hip width with the left toes, maybe not 100% forward, but angled out just a smidge. So straight legs-ish. As my back heel comes down, I'm going to let my front toes lift, so I'm flexing. And then as I send my weight back forward, let's lift the back leg up just for a little bit of work there. And then step it back down and come up onto the front heel. Come forward, lift up, step back, flex one more time. And then after lifting the toes here on this front foot, let's go ahead and set them down. So we should be pretty well in pyramid pose from here. And then I'm going to walk my hands to the left and let my left foot turn open a bit for a goddess-like position with both feet kind of turned out. And then I'm going to kind of draw from that sort of sweeping arm movement, circular movement, over to one side, lifting all the way up and around in a circle. Again. And then switching that direction. And after doing a couple in both directions, staying down in that goddess stance, and I'm going to cross my arms, so one in front of the other, and try to grab hold of my legs. And as I pull on my legs, I'm pushing out with the legs. So there's a little bit of resistance there and feeling some kind of shoulder action. And then switch the cross. Grab hold, pull, release. Pivot forward, step forward back to that fold, take a moment. All right. Right foot steps back, not quite as far. As that heel comes down, come up onto the left heel, push that foot back down, weight forward, lift the back leg up. Step back, flex, weight forward, lift. And I'm moving my hands with me, right? Do that if that feels good for you. Maybe again, blocks are helpful. Okay, and then after last time, we'll let those toes come down so we're pretty well in pyramid land. And then we'll pivot to the right and let the right foot turn out and see if we can find something resembling goddess legs. All right, and we'll sweep up and around a couple times to one side and then the other side. And after coming down, we'll cross arms and grab the legs, push and pull, switch the cross, grab hold, push and pull, release, pivot forward, step back to that forward fold, pause, rest. And from here, carefully, let's come down to seated. And let's keep the left knee bent and take the right leg forward, grabbing hold and twisting, Marichiyasana. Releasing the twist and letting that knee fall open for head to knee pose. And let's try maybe turning a little bit more here. So I'm going to take my left hand outside the right foot and reach the right hand behind me. So a little bit more of a turn. We'll come up from there. Let's lift that left knee again and roll down to our backs with this leg position. Once you're down, pull that knee toward your chest. And then reach for the back of the leg, extending it up. And maybe it's not all the way straight. Let's roll the ankle a few times. Switching directions. Bend the knee, pull it back in. And then we'll rock up and send the left leg forward. And pull the right knee in, repeating that on the other side. Marichiyasana twist. Releasing the twist, letting that knee fall open. Right, turning a little bit more in head to knee pose. Right hand trying to reach outside the leg, and the left hand can be behind you to kind of help you come forward as you turn. Right, let's come out of that. We'll lift that right knee, grab hold, roll down to your back. Pull the knee in towards your chest. Reach behind the leg and extend it up just as much as it feels reasonable to, and roll the ankle. Both directions. Bend the knee again, pull it in toward your chest. Rock up. Both legs forward, forward fold. Out of that fold, reach your arms forward just one time, really slowly, rolling, rounding down to our backs. Take your time. All right, we do it just once, we gotta make it count. Slowly, 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 slowly. And you might reach your arms overhead at the bottom. And let's give both knees a hug in and rock a little bit from side to side. And then take that into a little happy baby. You can grab whatever you want to grab hold of. I like big toes personally. It might make a difference in how things feel. And that might not necessarily be the hips, it might be shoulders, neck, low back. So feet, toes, ankles, shins, etc. Try them all and see which one works best. Maybe a little rocking. And then just roll over to one side and rest there for a moment. And press yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Just taking a moment here to observe. Notice your breathing, notice how things are feeling. Thank you so much for joining me for this quick wind down practice. And I look forward to practicing with you again soon. Have a great evening.